Everyone, this is Lisa Hurley with York County Development. Oops, we're waiting for the Facebook Live to come on. Give us just a moment here if you'll wait. Okay. Okay, I'm not going to get too deep into this while we're waiting for this to get connected, but I hope everyone's having a great week. I know it's a little chilly, a little rainy outside, but it's warm inside, and hopefully most of you are inside at the moment and waiting for the sun to come out so they can go back out. I'm going to go ahead and have Laura, do you want to start talking while she's getting that up?
She needs 10 seconds.
Okay, 10 seconds and then we'll get moving, you guys.
Technology is wonderful today.
It is. And I have this running off of cell signal.
Oh,
So instead of Wi-Fi, she's running off of your phone. So we should be no streaming issues. Okay.
Yay.
Here we go. Now let's start on over. Welcome to our Thursday morning community sector briefing. And I'm going to introduce Laura. Laura, get her on up here. Come on up, Laura.
Good morning, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started and give that public health report. And then we'll follow into different sectors too and ask for reports. So please be ready if you're one of our people reporting out to give a short report on your sector. We'll start with public health. Today, the dashboard, the DHHS has said that we have 6,771 positive cases in Nebraska with 86 deaths. We've seen a recent increase in cases, especially in Lancaster and Douglas County. We are also closely monitoring hotspots that are going on in Colfax, Hall, Saline, Platte, and again, Lancaster, which surround us. Those counties have some hotspots that are actually influencing our numbers as well. We have, this morning, we have 75 people on quarantine that we are actively monitoring. Over this entire course of the pandemic, we have 473 people we've monitored on quarantine. The total positives this morning, we had one overnight to bring us to a total of 48 positives for the Four Corners district. That's all 4 counties. We've had 2 people in the hospital, and we have had 1 person on a ventilator. So we're checking now to see if that person is still on the ventilator, but that over the course of the time. A lot of times people will turn positive and then they will, we find out the next week or so that they may have ended up in the hospital, and that's the case. So it's not always reported right away, but I wanted to make sure you were aware. We have 26 total people have recovered from this, and probably more today. We're going to go through our list today and see who all's recovered. So I'm gonna try to keep updating you on that recovered number as well. So for the County of York, we're now up to 14 positives with 11 people recovered. Seward County also has 14 positives this morning. 6 have recovered with 1 death. Butler County has 11 positives with 4 recovered, and Polk County has 9 positives with 5 recovered. So that's our local picture right now. We had a shipment of personal protective equipment that went out today or this week to our partners, and so if anybody needs to update their requests on personal protective equipment, please use the online form. We've been notified we're getting some gowns in our next shipment, so that's really good news for us. I wanted to talk a moment about the National Guard testing event that's going to be happening in Shelby tomorrow. it has changed for us a little bit over time here, where they're going to be diverting some of our tests to the to another location. So our number of tests has decreased a little bit, but we still have about 10 tests available for our partners, or for residents of our county. So if you need to be tested, and please call Four Corners, and we're making appointments for people and getting you on the schedule so that it's a smooth process. And I think the last thing I wanted to mention is that this week the relaxed directed health measures have been in effect, and they will continue to be until May 31st. We have those directed health measures listed they're listed on our website. So if you need to take a look at those, please visit our website. You can find them there, as well as some guidance documents that have come out about those new directed health measures. So I think that's all I have right now for my public health report. I think we'll move on to the York County.
Could you please restate the number, your numbers again, like how many are in quarantine and whatnot you cut out?
Oh, I cut out?
Okay.
Okay. All right. How far do I need to go? Like through the positives?
Wants to know what the 473 number was.
Okay, so we have 75 people presently on quarantine right now and that we're monitoring daily right now. And then up to this point through the entire pandemic, we've had 473 people total that we've monitored through a 14-day quarantine, or through a quarantine period.
You answered her question.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, so now we will move on to the local government sector. Let's start with York County today. Randy, are you on?
Yes, we are. Morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Just kind of recapping, with our meetings first, we've been Zooming, even though we've been meeting in open forum. So the Zoom this last week, the link for some reason did not get put on our website. So we're just going to tell people we would also check our Facebook site also. We'll start to put that Zoom link on our Facebook site as long as the website. And then hopefully, Lisa, you can help share that that link with everybody that you're tied in with. But as
Absolutely.
One of the main conversations we had is when will the courthouse reopen? The courthouse has actually been open the whole time, just individual offices have been locked. We're going to wait till after the election. The clerk would like to get the election done first. So we're kind of looking at the 18th, somewhere in there, to start having you kind of reveal the windows that we put in a month ago. The sheriff's department is going to start loosening up some of what they do also the 18th. So we're kind of looking at that, exploring how we're going to deal with people coming in and out. So we'll catch you up to date on that as we get a little bit closer. But that's one thing that we are looking at right now. Other than that, just announcing that the election is going to go as normal next Tuesday. The polling booths, the polling stations will be open just like they are every year. Although the turnout through the mail-in, I believe Kelly stated the other day, there's been over 3,000 people that had absentee ballots, which is up tremendous for our county. So right now we're just surging ahead as we have been. Respect when we do open the courthouse up, we'll have some tape on the floor, just as you've seen in all the other markets. Just kind of respect those and keep doing what we're doing. And that's all I got today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Randy. City of York, is Barry available?
Yes, I am. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, not a lot of changes with the city. We're kind of focusing on what the governor announces here over the next week or so is kind of his directed measures on kind of like when it comes to the swimming pool and things like that. Some of the talk and some of the stuff released this week said that, it may not be that pools could open before July 15th. And So if that's the case, you know, that would probably not be feasible for us to do that. I know Omaha and Crete and other communities are right now have said they're not going to open their pools this summer. I know all of our department heads are reaching out to their peers around the state and trying to figure out, you know, what do you do with all these things? You know, I mean, Terry at the convention center, you know, when will you be able to start having events, and will those events come back slowly where you can start to have smaller groups? So everybody's kind of having to be patient and wait and see how all this goes. But right now, you know, it's really hard to plan anything. So our city buildings are going to probably stay closed at least through the rest of the month. And then, you know, how they open up and what they do, we'll just kind of pay attention to everything that's out there. The May 21st council meeting, we're not having a council meeting tonight. The May 21st council meeting, we'll discuss some of these matters and hopefully have a little clearer picture. So other than that, just want everyone to stay safe and support your local businesses, and hopefully things will start to head the other direction soon. So that's all I have today. Thank you.
Thank you, Barry.
Nothing from Henderson today.
Okay, we have nothing from Henderson today. Are there any villages on? McCool, Benedict, Bradshaw, Waco, Gresham? Okay, so we'll move on to the medical sector. Anyone from the medical sector on today?
Lisa, Jim Ulrich, York General. Just a couple updates this morning. Today is day number 4 of our gradual reopening of services. We started performing elective surgeries and certain outpatient procedures on Monday. Starting out slowly, less than a half a dozen of those cases a day is about what that's been. And having some of our visiting specialists coming back into our specialty clinic as well, working to catch up some of those needed outpatient procedures. Those have all occurred so far, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and continuing into Thursday. We want to be able to perform those diagnostic procedures when we can, so that patients in need of those treatments don't become worse in their condition and then ultimately end up being either hospitalized or more acutely ill. So as we can, we'd like to continue to catch up and do those things. And lots of heightened screening that we're doing, social distancing, mask wearing, etc. That's a part of our process that who knows how long that'll go on. That may become much more of the norm as we go forward. That's one of the big things in the healthcare sector. What is going to be the norm we return to? And I know that's throughout our community too. Let's see here. Continue to watch our census, and we're doing well on that to be in compliance with the governor's and the directed health measures, our use of PPE and things like that, and we're sitting fine with that today. Also watching our cases around us, as Laura talks about on a daily basis. We track that from multiple sites as well, and even have talked with area CEOs about how it's looking in their communities. Let's see here. So that's kind of the update on the procedures and the gradual opening and things like that. Things are going well so far on that. Happy Nurses Week this week, certainly starting off yesterday and going through the 12th. So it's a Wednesday to Tuesday week, if you will, for Nurses Week. And it ends up on the 12th, which is the birthday of Florence Nightingale, which is the mother of modern day nursing. And so we're certainly doing what we can in a different way to celebrate with nurses. And we have nurses in every one of our campuses at York General. So it's, I think some of you maybe have seen a Facebook site about trying to guess who's behind a mask of all the nurses. And so we've got a little contest going on internally with our York General team as well. Finally, I'd like to just appreciate the great social media and email communication from the YCDC, York Chamber of Commerce as well. Obviously, Four Corners does a nice job of that also. And I just want to point out one specific example. Madonna, that's probably a little bit in your direction too here, is that just sharing and And you know, the efforts of more making of masks and everything too for the quilt shop and all that, just the efforts that have been not only benefiting York General over time, but also, you know, the call for more masks for the beauty shops, dental offices, optical offices. I mean, what a great thing to do. And we've certainly benefited from that at York General, but also those other businesses to help us stay compliant and just help further, I guess they're saying not only flatten the curve, but squash the curve or whatever they're saying now on that. And because I think that certainly does make a difference. And we appreciate anything that continue to be done in the community and throughout our county and throughout our Four Corners Health District to help promote those efforts and keep us all safe. And you know, healthcare industry certainly is here to care for those patients, and we hope that everybody takes care to do their part to help flatten that curve. So that's all I have today. Thanks for the opportunity to report.
Thank you very much, Jim. Anyone from Henderson Healthcare, Urgent Care, York Medical Clinic? Okay, then I am going to move on to the business sector with Madonna and me. I'm just going to echo, we are seeing some of our eye clinics, dentists, hair salons, etc., that are able to open. They're starting to open or making plans to open within the next couple of weeks. I was told yesterday there are going to be some massage therapists starting before the end of the month. I am going to ask you that please follow their regulations. They have regulations that are coming down from the state on us needing to wear a mask before we even go into their facility. Some of them are asking you to knock or text when you get there so they can meet you at the door. So whatever they're asking you to do, please follow it, because these business owners could get in legal trouble if regulations aren't followed. You know, otherwise it's completely up to you whether you wear the masks. They're obviously recommended when you're out and about, but they're not legally required unless you're in a specific type of business, from the way I understand it. And Laura's nodding her head here. So let's just protect our business owners, make sure we don't get anybody in trouble because we're not thinking. And then I just want to say we need to start, I'm not going to say start, we need to be strategic as we think about how we're opening it up as an economy. Overall, as a community, we just need to think, step back ourselves individually. What can we do to help each other? Where do we want to be in a year, 2 years? Not just right now, because the COVID-19, it's very much impacting all of our lives right now. But we will get beyond it. We're in a new normal right now, and we will get past it. So if you're a business owner, if you're a manager, if you're an employee that's taking some time, just start thinking long-term. Where do you want to be? And you might even take this as an opportunity, if you're at home, to take some extra classes and make a change that you're looking for. There are employers hiring in York County. I know the Chamber and York DevCo both have them on our websites. And the two last things, that April jobs report will be out on Friday. So tomorrow, so we'll be able to tell how the April jobs looked compared to March. And it's Economic Development Week. We're not able to do the tours and everything else that we usually do, but I do want to celebrate Economic Development Week. We have a lot of very strong businesses in the community, and I'm very proud to be in York County. So that's all I have, other than Mental Health Awareness Week is going on as well. So reach out, and I'm going to turn it over to Madonna.
Thank you, Lisa. First, I did have a note from Henderson that they did decide to postpone their community-wide garage sales that were, they're going to postpone it until August 8th. So
okay.
have that. I did want to kind of continue on with Jim's thank you for everyone that helped York General through their PPE request. And I appreciate York General helping us pay it forward to put out the call to get more masks made for those businesses that do have that requirement put upon them so they can open and do business. So if you are able to help make masks, they are being collected at Quilt Basket as well as here at the chamber. And then we will distribute those to our salons, our eye doctors, our dentists, and even probably our massage therapists as well. So we want to be able to have that available if a patron does come to the facility and they may have forgotten their mask or something. That way they can continue on with their appointment. So we appreciate anyone that is helping with that. A few things. We also are excited that there are some soft openings that are happening. Please, like Lisa said, make sure that you understand that a lot of those openings are regulated. And also some businesses are just choosing to wait just a bit. So don't get too frustrated. They will open. I've heard a few of that, but it's okay. Everybody's taking their time and they want to make sure that their team is comfortable as well as their clientele. A few things before I go. This weekend, we will be having the York Drive-In movie at the Convention Center. You can go on to the Facebook event to register for your ticket. And when you arrive, there will be a bucket. You will drop your ticket and your $5 in the bucket and then be guided to parking. There will be attendance on site as well as public officials to maintain that we are using, that we are staying in compliant with all of the different DHMs. As a reminder, there will be no restrooms available on site. Everyone must remain in their personal vehicle. One household, one vehicle. Also, there will be no concessions, but you can drive through the Sun Theater and grab your popcorn on your way out. Everything is cash and exact change only. And we're really excited to be able to offer this to the community as just a safe evening for the family. And there's 2 show times. And then also just encourage everyone to, when they're out on their walks, to walk downtown and enjoy the York Banner Walk. All of the 2020 York High School seniors are up on the downtown poles. So just come down and enjoy that and pop in and say hello to some of our businesses that have been waiting to see you. That's all I have.
Thank you, Madonna. Okay, is there anyone else from the business community that would like to say anything? Okay. The one last thing I want to say is I want to thank the manufacturers who have pivoted to help with making face shields, hand sanitizer, all of that stuff. We have a lot of manufacturers in the community and they don't necessarily want their names out there or they have corporate regulations they have to go through. But thank you to all the manufacturers that are working so hard to make sure your employers are safe and that the community has the supplies they need. Let's move on to the education sector and we'll start with our district superintendents.
Good morning, everybody. This is in York. First of all, I think this must be a popular week to kind of designate for people. So this is also Teacher Appreciation Week. And so specifically for York, we're tremendously proud of our entire staff, especially in this type of situation. So I'd really encourage you, whatever community you come from, I'd really encourage you to, if you know a teacher, reach out to them, tell them thank you. It's been rather interesting these past few weeks of how many phone calls and emails and so on, conversations we've had about just now that some parents are having to help educate, their children at home of that appreciation. So again, to all the teachers out there, I personally thank you for everything that you're doing. Just some quick things here for York. We're wrapping up the end of the school year. Our students, we did shorten our calendar just a bit by 2.5 days Our students are completely done on the 15th. We do have some students at the high school and some middle school that here actually tomorrow they might be done, with required assignments and so on. But ultimately, YPS is done on the 15th. And then our teachers and staff, finish up that next week. I want to thank Madonna, and for her partnership on the senior banners. They started to go up, and we received, some calls and emails and some thanks, and a lot of that goes to, her and her idea. And we just appreciate that partnership that has been going on basically from day one with Madonna and Lisa. Let's see here. We are, just so everybody knows, we are aware there are some other schools' graduations that are going to be taking place within kind of this next week or two. So York is aware of that. And we will continue to stick to our plan to see if we can actually have a ceremony or not. And the reason that we're not able to go with the direction that some of the other schools are going is just sheer numbers. We have up around 120 students, and some of the schools around us are much smaller, so they are able to do some different things. We are waiting for some summer guidance on quite a few things, on whether or not our students can get together in any small groups or anything, and so we're just kind of waiting to see on that. And then the last thing is we're starting to get a lot of questions about what does school look like next year, and to be 100% honest, we don't know at this point in time. And my personal opinion is it's way too early to start putting plan A, B, and C in, that type of thing. And so we're gonna give this a little bit of time, but obviously York will come up with a couple different plans based on information we have here later in the summer. Again, thank you to everybody. All I have for today.
Thank you, Mitch. Do we have any other schools on with us today? And there's nothing from York College. What about Southeast Community College from York? Are you on? Do you have a report?
Hey Lisa, it's Heather.
Hi, Heather. Can't see you.
Yeah, well, my lighting is really bad, so even if I turn my camera on, you won't see my face very well. But just a couple of things they did share with us the other day. They are looking at possibly doing some very limited face-to-face credit classes after July 1. So when I get more information as far as how that's for sure going to look, I will absolutely be getting that information out. I do know on the continuing education side, so our leisure classes, we're open to the public, workforce development classes. They are strongly encouraging us to continue through the summer, even offering those virtually. So we will be looking to move as many of our summer classes to a virtual platform. If it's a class that we really are wanting to offer, we can look at doing face-to-face. So as we navigate through that, again, I will make sure all of that information gets sent out so that everybody knows really what that's going to look like and what we have that we're going to be able to offer. So that's the big change that we've had, is mostly on that credit class side for the second half of our summer classes.
Thank you, Heather. Anyone else from the education sector that would like to take a moment? Okay, so let's move on to our faith, community, and nonprofits. Erin, are you on?
Yeah, so it just took me a minute to unmute. This is Erin with the York County Health Coalition. Good morning, everyone. To start, just a huge thank you on behalf of all nonprofits globally for those who have continued to donate. This has been a really interesting time, of course, for nonprofits. And we do ask that you continue to donate. Even $5 helps a nonprofit somewhere. as we move into this time of folks going back to work, businesses reopening, it is important to remember that not everyone's going to get a paycheck right away. There are many who are going to have to wait 2 to 4 to 6 weeks before paycheck comes in. People are still waiting on unemployment checks. People are still waiting to be approved for SNAP and things. So not everything is immediate. So there still is going to be some repercussions that people are feeling right now for a while. So please continue to donate and keep nonprofits at the forefront of your mind. One resource I'd like to share is Legal Aid of Nebraska. They have a REACH initiative that supports low-income and elder Nebraskans, and those who are victims of domestic and sexual violence. They help with anything from elder abuse, financial exploitation, debt collections and garnishments, as well as evictions. And evictions has been a thing that they are really trying to help people right now. So if you know someone who is in danger of being evicted or has gotten an eviction notice, Legal Aid of Nebraska may be able to help. Their hotline number is 1-844-268-5627. They are available Monday through Thursday from 8 to 5, closed during the lunch hour, and then on Fridays from 9 to noon. Next week, the coalition will be hosting Catherine Lacey from Serve Nebraska, which is AmeriCorps. If you're familiar with that, AmeriCorps is a volunteer service that helps communities build capacity. And during COVID-19, both known and unknown needs in the community have been spotlighted. And the opportunity to use volunteerism as an opportunity to help fill some of those gaps and build capacity to fill those gaps in the future is a really awesome opportunity. So if you are interested in or are a part of economic opportunity, education, disaster preparedness, environmental stewardship, healthy futures, or veterans and military families, AmeriCorps is something that might be of interest to you. They have personnel as well as grants. Many of their personnel, AmeriCorps members, can come from local areas. So that might be of interest to you. That meeting will be next Friday, the 15th at 10 a.m. You can go to our Facebook page and register for that event. And then lastly, yes, Mitch, you're correct. This is just a really popular month. It is Mental Health and Trauma Awareness Month. And for all of those who are celebrating this week for different sectors that are being appreciated, I just want to remind you that self-care is not selfish. That is part of appreciating yourself and the work that you do in all the sectors. This has been a really tough last 6 weeks, and it is really important to take time just to reflect on what has happened and take care of yourself. So I guess that is what I have this week.
Thank you very much, Erin.
I have an update here. Brandy from Department of Health and Human Services wants to remind everyone that if they have a concern about a family or a child, she is happy to talk through that with them. Her contact information is 402-362-0287. Also, the Child Abuse and Neglect Hotline number is 1-800-652-1999.
Thank you, Madonna, and thank you, Brandy, for sending that in. Is there anyone else from the nonprofit sector that would, or faith sector, that would like to say anything? Okay, so we're open to questions. Laura, you want to come up here? I believe she has one. She has a couple.
We actually received a couple of questions over chat in the last few moments here. One question was, what is the group gathering size through May 23rd? And the answer to that is still, so that would be if people were face-to-face in a group, Still social distancing, but it's still at 10 people for group gatherings. Now, there are certain allowances for churches or faith community services and weddings and funerals within the church or faith community settings, and even outdoors would still fall into that just for the ceremonies. And also restaurants are exempt from that as well. So there's certain conditions where you can go over 10, but the 10-person rule is still in effect. And that doesn't also does not apply to the drive-in movie, because everyone's staying in their cars. So if people are staying in their cars, that's also a different exception. So, but for gatherings, it's 10 people. And then we also had another question about, we understand there's a lot of people who are trying to plan for family vacations right now and planning to travel, would like to take some time off and maybe have put it off because they can't go anywhere without ending up in quarantine when they return. And unfortunately, that recommendation still has not changed. People are recommended to quarantine, self-quarantine if they leave the state of Nebraska and return. Well, upon return to Nebraska, it would be a 14-day quarantine. Now, there are some exceptions on that for work, people who are working outside of Nebraska. But if people are traveling for vacations and things, upon return, it's a 14-day quarantine with monitoring. And as I say this, I want to really stress these things can change at any moment. So as I say this, I don't know if in next week, if that'll still be the situation or not. But as for right now, that is what is out there. So are there any other questions? All right, well, Madonna says I think we can wrap it up.
I mean, if we want.
So do you have anything else, Lisa?
I don't.
Okay.
I think you can go ahead and sign
All
off.
right, well, be well, everyone. Please take care this week, and hope everyone stays safe. Thank you.